I know there is a problem with this EMR Note. Before opening it and looking at it, I would suggest that the viewer first takes a look at one or two other videos that are already in the tutorial, and that is this one and this one. Segments. What is a segment and how does it function? And reflow. I presume that we know that double clicking and clicking on the big button launches that video. So I'm not doing that now. I suggest that the viewer of this current video now stops it and then first goes through these other two videos. So at this point I consider that those two videos have been reviewed. Now I'm opening up this note. And indeed, what do I see here? See, all the segment headers have a specific format, and the history of present illness has that format here, but also exists in the chief complaint text. Why is that happening? We now know from these other two videos that the chief complaints content starts at the header and ends at this little end of segment carrier, which means it includes all the history of present illness. We can verify that because if we go here and we get in the chief complaint that whole block of text, in the complaint history we get nothing. Okay. And now we even lost it because it was unable to properly return that text into its segment placeholder due to this conflict. I'm cancelling out of it, going back here, and we're back into this form. So why is that happening? Because there is no end of segment character in the actual chief complaint, which I presume must be around here. We can repair that by taking an end of segment carrier, copy it, and paste it where we think it needs to be. So now the chief complaint goes from the header until this end of character, end of segment character. We can now reflow this document after that we made this repair, and we do indeed obtain a proper organization of this note, except that the content of the history of present illness could not be relocated and becomes empty. So, in that particular case, the history of present illness needs to be recreated how would this happen? That the end of segment carrier disappears. Normally, operators work within the node composer, and the node composer manages the segment headers and manages the end of segment characters. But this remains, an EMR Note remains a normal, regular word processing document, which means the operator has full access to it. And sometimes the operator thinks that typing a modified segment content directly into the node might be easier than going via the node composer. That is true. It is possible to simply use this as the patient presents with flu-like symptoms. Fine, this is correct. And why is this correct? Because the end of character, the end of segment character is still in place. We do the same here, see? I highlight everything, but I do not include the end of segment character. Now we're good because I did not remove the end of segment character. Then I can type in whatever I need to type in and then still remain under control. Except, see, now we see how this is happening, because by mistake I removed the end of segment character, which means I will have to put this back in myself. Meaning that it is not impossible that an operator says, okay, I will type my chief complaint in and I remove the existing. And then forgets to manage the end of segment character. I still have it in the pasteboard, so I can add it here. And now I'm good again. I can even reflow it again, and I get all the segments properly organized, which means going into the node directly to make modifications, or even pulling in nodes from the past that have a defect of non-existing end of segment characters, may make that node non-formatable. And then it is necessary for the operator to review if any end of segment characters need to be added in order to gain back control over that node.